welcome viewers to the May 20th, 2023 edition of 284 News. I am Jacques Wooding, bringing you our top stories from this week. Thank you so much for joining us. On Thursday, residents and well-wishers from across the Virgin Islands gathered for the swearing-in of the 13 members of the 5th House of Assembly of the Virgin Islands. This was the first order of business for the proceedings of the House of Assembly, inclusive of the swearing-in of the Speaker of the House of Assembly and Deputy Speaker. Mrs. Corinne George Massicot, who spent the last few months as the former Speaker of the House, was appointed and returned as Speaker.
I now invite the Leader of Government Business, the Premier, to make a nomination.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I rise to nominate Mrs. Corinne George Massicot as Speaker. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Madam Clerk, I rise to second the motion.
In accordance with Standing Order Number 4 of the Standing Orders of the House of Assembly of the Virgin Islands, I declare Corinne George Massicot elected as Speaker, and I now call upon the Premier to move a motion that Corinne George Massicot do take the chair as Speaker of the House of Assembly.
Madam Clerk, I rise to move a motion that Mrs. Corinne George Massicot take the chair as Speaker.
Madam Clerk, I rise to second that motion.
Thank you, Premier. Thank you, Deputy Premier. And thank you, Leader of the Opposition.
She then took her oath of office.
I, Corinne George Massicot, do swear that I will well and truly serve His Majesty King Charles III and the people of the Virgin Islands in the office of Speaker, so help me God. I, Corinne George Massicot, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law. So help me God.
When it came to the appointment of the Deputy Speaker, the initial nominee of Honorable Luce Hart-Smith from Premier Wheatley saw some controversy, which led to 2 recesses. Based on the Constitution of the Virgin Islands, a member holding a ministry cannot be Deputy Speaker. Nonetheless, Premier Wheatley tried to have Honorable Hart-Smith nominated as Deputy Speaker. This was later retracted.
Madam Speaker, I rise to nominate for the post of Deputy Speaker Honorable Luce Hart-Smith.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I rise to second that motion.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, 69(3) of the Constitution says anyone who holds a ministerial position cannot be Deputy Speaker. I don't know if something else has happened since you announced your ministers.
Well, at this time, Leader of the Opposition, I'll give you the option to state if you wish to nominate someone as well.
Madam Speaker, I wish to nominate Honorable Stacey Mather.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I rise to second the motion.
Thank you. Yes.
Honorable Stacey Mather was then nominated by the Leader of the Opposition, and that nomination was seconded and accepted, allowing Mather to be sworn in as Deputy Speaker.
While I did have my ruling, I will allow the Premier to rise at this time.
Madam Speaker, upon review, it is indeed correct that section 69(5) applies as junior ministers as ministers in the 2015 amendment to the Constitution. We therefore withdraw our nominee, Honorable Luce Hart-Smith, and will support the nominee, Honorable Stacey Mather.
Thank you.
It was a unique situation which made the way for a member of the opposition to sit as Deputy Speaker. The honorable members were all sworn in and given an opportunity to greet the public and deliver remarks.
In accordance with Standing Order number 5 of the Standing Orders of this Honorable House, I now declare Honorable Stacey Mater as Deputy Speaker.
Madam Speaker, I accept.
Viewers, of that, we take you to a quick commercial break. Stay with us because there is more when we return.
When you're in need of air conditioning, installation, repairs, or replacement services, Markinson Air Conditioning and Refrigeration has the professional technicians, equipment, parts, and ACs to get the job done right. Markinson Air Conditioning and Refrigeration carries top brands like Daikin, Aircon, Mitsubishi, and more. We're open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Located in Fish Bay. Telephone 340-4114 or 343-9511. Markinson Air Conditioning and Refrigeration, providing exceptional services to the British Virgin Islands since 2015.
Looks like Johnny's ex-girlfriend finally found my car.
You've got CG. You're fine. I'll never forget the year those monkeys stole my car. They drove it over a cliff, burned the seats, and carved the words pineapple banana smoothie into all the doors. And that was after they used it for the bank heist. I don't blame them. It's their favorite smoothie, and I refuse to share the recipe.
No deductible for theft, malicious damage, and more. CG Insurance. Good like that.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. Deputy Premier Honorable Lorna Smith says she makes no apologies for the decisions she has made in the political arena, while Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalia Wheatley appears to be ready to move on from discussions about how this new government came to be. Smith was pressed by a reporter surrounding whether she had maintained her, quote, agenda on which she was elected or if she would be changing her plans to better mesh with the VIP government to which she has now aligned.
I was not pushing a different agenda. I was pushing an agenda for greater efficiency. The questions that your colleagues raised in terms of the 9 months or more that it takes to get work permits through. The same thing with trade licenses and so on. One of the things I said that I would work towards is cutting red tape. Oh, yeah. And that is what I plan to do. So it's the same agenda. As I said, I was pushing an agenda for...
No, you said it's the same agenda. So I'm asking if it's the same agenda what you are pushing some weeks ago.
It's an agenda. Yes,
it's the same agenda that you're meeting today of a different
No,
post.
I am meeting an agenda that I'm meeting a situation where there is need for improvement. And that is what I was saying. And everybody recognizes that there is need for improvement in the services that we deliver.
The scene played out in a recent press conference. Premier Wheatley was also featured at this press conference and did not appear to be pleased that his colleague was targeted with this line of questioning, now weeks after a new government has been sworn in.
So will it be correct to say, Mrs. Smith, you have no regrets from the decision you made?
None. None.
No apologies to anyone?
No apology.
Yeah, let me say, Zan, there's no need for...
I know, I'm not going there. I'm not going.
Okay.
Let me move away from that.
Yes.
In other news, a 3-stage strategy has been announced by the Department of Waste Management to tackle waste in the Virgin Islands. Ron Grant has more.
A three-stage strategy has been announced by the Department of Waste Management to tackle waste in the Virgin Islands. Acting Manager Mr. Neville Allen said at a recent District 1 community meeting that the department will seek to implement the action plan, which has a short-term, mid-term, and a long-term plan for tackling the territory's waste disposal problems. Mr. Allen said for the short-term solution, the department will seek to bury all incoming waste at the incinerator daily, covering the waste with a maximum of 6 inches of compacted soil to help minimize the risk of spontaneous fires. He said, and I quote, "We will increase site securities by installing security cameras at the entrance of the facility to help prevent unauthorized access to the dump site. This will help eliminate the problem of fires being caused by unauthorized persons who gain access to the site to obtain copper and other precious metals." In addition, Mr. Allen said the department will employ security personnel to monitor this site between 4 p.m. and 7 a.m. daily. He further added that an increase in waste separating and recycling efforts through education and installation of recyclable drop-off areas is high on the short-term agenda to reduce waste going to the dump site. In relation to the medium-term plans, Mr. Allen disclosed that full repairs will be conducted to the existing incinerator, including procuring and installing a new control panel, which was destroyed in a fire in February 2022. An ash conveyor, rams, and exhaust fans, which are all required to make the system functional. These items, according to Mr. Allen, have been ordered and are expected to be shipped in the coming months. He said, and I quote, "We will hire a contracting company to complete the repairs to the roof of the building and make the necessary electrical connections for the new control panels. Works are expected to be completed within the next 8 to 12 months. The final stage of the plan is to implement a ban on single-use plastic containers and incorporate a refund system on glass and aluminum containers. Mr. Allen explained that the initiative is to extract recyclable materials from the waste stream and litter throughout the Virgin Islands. Drafting instructions are currently being prepared and are expected to be completed by the end of July. The community meeting was joined by Minister for Health and Social Development, the Honorable Vincent O. Wheatley, Assistant Manager Mr. Anselm Myers, and members of Green VI. For Tweet 4 News, I'm Ron Grant.
On a regional stage, Africa's largest private carrier, AirPeace, has become the majority shareholder in regional airline company LIAT 2020 after purchasing 70% of its shares. This was confirmed by Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Honorable Gaston Brown, who said that LIAT will operate on a viable commercial basis following the agreement with the Nigerian-based company. More in this report from ABS's News, Garfield Buford.
The government of Antigua and Barbuda saved the carrier from the brink of liquidation by placing it under administration. Since then, a court-appointed administrator, Cleveland Seaforth, has been piloting the operation. The focus now is on LIAT 2020 and ensuring it can meet the region's transportation needs. That's where a prospective partnership with Nigeria's AirPeace comes in.
So what we're moving now is to establish the AOC. Right. The operating certificate for LIAT 2020, and to have this partnership with AirPeace, in which AirPeace will emerge as a 70% shareholder in the new LIAT.
The carrier is now operating with 2 aircraft and with a smaller footprint of routes, but that is set to change once the new arrangement is concretized.
They will bring some assets, and we will also acquire some assets as well, and hopefully we could have maybe 5-6 aircraft operating within the region under the name LIAT. We think that LIAT is a strong brand. It's a regional brand which we believe should be maintained. And I'm hoping that we can make this a reality so that we can protect the existing jobs and even to create new jobs for those employees who are displaced, especially the pilots.
The Prime Minister said the primary intention was to have had a LIAT owned by the regional governments, given how crucial regional transportation is. However, with that not having materialized, the Prime Minister says this is now the best route.
I know that there are many who would want to second guess that decision, but again, I don't know if there's any other viable option at this point. I mean, I would accept that regional governments would have indicated a willingness to invest in a regional airline, but in terms of having firm commitments, we're not at that stage, and we need to move. I mean, regional travel is a major issue.
The head of government explained how LIAT's approach is likely to change under a private majority shareholder.
The airline will be run or operated strictly on a commercial basis. So it would not be a regional bus that will be operating on unprofitable routes. And if indeed it has to operate on profitable routes, then there has to be some MRG, some
minimum revenue
guarantees. So, we're looking forward to, the eventual operationalization of this new LIAT 2020, and we're committed to do all we can to ensure its viability and sustainability.
And viewers of that, we take a quick commercial break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got here. My name is Kamal Haynes. Most of you know me from 284 News, but now you get to see me in a different light on my very own show called Health is Wealth. We have Joel Turnbull.
I don't want you to arch your back when you're pulling down.
Milton McLean.
First of all, right, your footwork.
Stephen Payne.
That was a 9 out of 10. I know you got the service down pat.
Steve Augustine.
You did a pretty hard workout today, so perhaps...
And as you can see, it's actually
you're feeling it.
Alonzo Boynes.
Taekwondo.
Adam Murrows.
I'll speak as if you're an absolute beginner.
I am an absolute beginner.
You are an absolute beginner.
And Seth Graham.
It bites. It will bite.
Get your water, get your fruits and veggies, and experience a wealth of knowledge about getting healthy.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, Sonny.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut front of people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Why? This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What you really? Hey, this ain't like you, know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out that trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with news that Chief Executive Officer at the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, Mr. Guy Lester Malone, has reiterated the Commission's commitment to creating a positive digital environment that has zero tolerance for any form of harassment or abuse. More in this report from Ron Grant.
Chief Executive Officer at the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, Mr. Guy Lester Malone, has reiterated the Commission's commitment to a positive, creating digital environment that has zero tolerance for any form of harassment or abuse. Mr. Malone said it is important for everyone to stand against cyberbullying and to help promote a culture of kindness, empathy, and inclusivity. Mr. Malone said it is important for everyone to stand against cyberbullying and help promote a culture of kindness, empathy, and inclusivity online as the territory prepares to observe World Telecommunications and Information Society Day. The day's activities will be observed under the theme, Don't Be Mean, Behind the Screen. At the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, he said, we take cyberbullying seriously and believe that everyone, inclusive of our youths, employees, customers, and stakeholders, has the right to a safe and respectful online experience. As part of the activities in observance of the day, the TRC organized a one-day symposium for approximately 300 students across the territory on Friday, May 19th at the Eileen L. Parsons Auditorium on the H. Lavely Stout Community College campus at Parakeet Bay, Tortola from 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. The keynote speaker for the symposium was Associate Director of the Alberti Center for Bullying Abuse Prevention at the University of Buffalo, the State University of New York, Dr. Stephanie Frederick. Dr. Frederick is an assistant professor of the School of Psychology, where her research investigates the role of families, peers, and schools in preventing and intervening with bullying, with a focus on cyberbullying and youth media. Dr. Frederick is a licensed psychologist and a nationally certified school psychologist. Organizers of this year's symposium, Ms. Joanna Reimer, mentioned that telecommunications, in particular the internet, provide incredible opportunities to solving problems and enhancing our lives. She said while there are instances where telecommunications create solutions, there are also some challenges that are more and more increasingly evident, especially among our children. Ms. Reimer added, and I quote, although cyberbullying is bullying with the use of digital technologies, cyberbullying and face-to-face bullying or physical altercations can often happen alongside each other, and as such, we thought it best to tackle this ongoing local and international dilemma by bringing our keynote speaker, Dr. Stephanie Frederick, to the Virgin Islands. World Telecommunications and Information Society Day has been observed each year since May 17, 1969, to mark and celebrate the founding of the International Telecommunications Union and the signing of the first International Telegraph Convention in 1865. The TRC says they are remaining committed to providing a safe, secure, and accessible digital environment for all citizens, and they believe that by working together, the power of telecommunications and information technologies can be harnessed to create a safer and more inclusive digital world. For 284 News, I'm Ron Grant.
And ending our newscast today, more than 3 million plastic bottles and approximately 2 million aluminum cans have already been recycled and processed through Green VI's Eco Park in Parakeet Bay to be exported abroad. Green VI's Deputy Director, Sarah Penny, provided an update to 284 Media recently, where she spoke about the progress made in the We Recycle program, which is a joint collaboration with the Department of Waste Management and Green VI.
And right now, in terms of statistics, what we can say is that the public wants this, wants to participate, but there's still a lot of room to grow. When you pass the field, which I know you see on your way here to our eco park, what you're looking at down there is almost 3 million plastic water bottles that are ready to go somewhere where they can be managed or recycled ethically. And then you're also seeing almost 1.9 million aluminum cans that are ready to go. I want to take a time though to say that the model that the BVI is creating is about finding ways to use those things in the territory rather than sending them out, because it costs so much. We all know the cost of living went up dramatically last year, and shipping almost doubled. So there's no way for the country to viably keep sending things out to be recycled. Instead, we want to inspire everyone, BVI lenders especially, to start businesses that use a material, take the plastic and turn it into something. And that's what the government of the Virgin Islands and Green VI together are trying to foster.
She also provided details on where the items will be exported once ready for shipment.
We're really proud that what we've been able to do on this journey is find multiple places, but we've settled on a company in Canada called Ice River Springs, and it's a family-run operation where they'll take those bottles and turn them back into bottles. We've been able to visit it physically to know that they're actually doing what they say they're going to do. Their site, their staff are, everyone's treated well, it's run properly, and they provide a lot of data. They're also phenomenal because they've started assuming the risk that, for if the material just isn't, maybe it doesn't weigh as much as they thought it would, or the shipping costs are a lot higher than was expected, they're absorbing that risk because they recognize how hard it is for small island nations like ours to manage the waste that's created.
With the project being deemed a success to date, Penny believes that the model is one that can be used as a blueprint for other Caribbean countries.
There's so much just to get excited about. I mean, first off, it's to give a shout out to everyone that participates in the program. We're so proud that we're starting to really create a model that other Caribbean countries can follow and other remote areas where government and not-for-profits as well as the private sector work together to try to find better solutions so that we can move away from burning. But it also takes a community, right? And so right now, just in the course of this program so far, which on Tortola has only been since 2019, we're right now at the equivalent of almost 9 million plastic bottles, and that's just in plastics because the program also collects glass and aluminum cans. And when we think about plastics, we always try to help people remember that it's a petroleum product. It's really not a healthy material to use. There's no way to get it entirely out of your life, but it's to remember that hierarchy of reduce, reuse, recycle.
The Deputy Director also spoke on pending legislation that will seek to strengthen recycling in the territory once passed. One such legislation is the Container Deposit Bill, which she said will add value to certain recyclable items.
The question that we wish we had an easy answer to. I think we all know that our country's going through some relatively challenging times, but what there is that people need to sort of ask and push forward is what's called the Container Deposit Bill. And what that will mean is that every container, drink container in particular, that comes into the territory, you pay a deposit when it comes in, but when you bring that bottle or that can back to a recycling drop-off center, which will be all over the territory, you get that deposit back. And I think we all know that once that bottle has a money value to it, everyone, even people that maybe would litter otherwise, will be more conscious with what they do. So that's one piece. And then the other piece is the waste management strategy and legislation overall, which will really help to cut down on the dumping issues and also how much people waste, and hopefully promote people thinking differently. So it's hopefully going to have tipping fees for loads of, weight, what we see, trucks going all the time and dumping on the landfill. And ways for the funding mechanisms so that our waste management system actually has the funding that it needs to do what it needs to do.
The full interview can be found on 284media.com or on the 284 Media Facebook page. Now that is all we have for you today in today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com, like us on Facebook at 284media, and 284BVI, that is 284BVI, on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Jacko Wooding, and I will see you again next week. So have yourself a safe and enjoyable weekend. God bless.